Probably you are wondering if you found a Razer Blade 15 advanced version with a 3070 Ti and whatever RAM it has, because you can upgrade it all the way to 64GB of RAM, and Legend has it, maybe you can even do that up to 96GB of RAM. Is it really good in 2026? Let's go ahead and find out. Right now I do have a Blender in front of me, and then GPU compute, I'm gonna go to edit, then preferences, and preferences I'm gonna go and only have NVIDIA RTX 3070 Ti as our render engine, and we are on optics. In terms of the samples, we have 200 samples right here. Now the first render, keep in mind, it can be a kernel run, so we will not take that into account. However, we will start from the one that is after it. In the meantime, let's take a look here. In terms of the memory, we have 64GB of memory. In terms of the CPU, we have the 12th gen Intel Core i9 at 12900H. For the GPU, we have an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3070 Ti with 8GB of VRAM, as you can see here. With a Blender, we're looking at 19 seconds. We're gonna go ahead and run it again and then see if we get a better number. It did finish for the second time and we are looking at 18 seconds, 0.2. I'm gonna go ahead and run it a third time, but while this is running, I want you to take a look at this. So here basically what I have, we have a 3090 Ti 24GB version desktop that took 11 seconds for the junk shop. Then we have the Snapdragon through OpenGL that took 1 minute and 13 seconds. Then we have 3050 laptop version, the mobile 6GB that took 27 seconds. Then you have the Apple M4 with 16GB that took 20 seconds. You have the M5 16GB and that took 16 seconds. Then you have a 5060 8GB version, and that is the desktop version, took 12.84 seconds, so let's say 13 seconds. And then you have 3070 Ti mobile version 8GB, which is basically the one that you are looking at right now, that took 18 seconds, which is a resemblance of the results that we just got. And then we have the M1 Max from Apple with 64GB of RAM, and that took 23 seconds. Where the 3070 Ti, aka the Razer Blade that we have right here, better than the M1 Max from Apple. It's better than the M4, but it's not better than the new M5, and it's better than the 3056GB version, which took 27 seconds, and it's definitely better than the Snapdragon X Plus, which uses OpenGL. Of course, it's not better than the 3090 Ti 24GB. All of that is good and dandy, and we can see for the GPU it was simply a small dent. Then for the CPU, it was not that much as well. Keep in mind the machine is connected to power, as you can see right here. With the Razer Blade software, I have it set to balance and then auto. I can go to manual and then crank it all the way up to 5200, but I don't think that's gonna be fair. However, let's say that's what you want to work on and you don't care about how noisy your machine would get, and render image, and we will see if the performance is better. The whole idea is not necessarily the numbers. What I am trying to figure out right now, if you have a machine such as this Razer Blade right here, or any laptop that has a 3070 Ti, is the performance good for a Blender or not? As we can see right here, we got a better result of 17.9, aka 18 seconds, which is the average that I had initially. Let's go ahead and go to custom. So we have the CPU set to boost and then the GPU set to high. So basically this is the highest that it can go, and we will see how that might look like. Are we gonna get a number that is better than 17.9 or 18 seconds, or are we gonna get the same numbers overall? And right now we're looking at 17.3, which means the performance is much better. So I do have this project open right here, and then with cycles I'm gonna do GPU compute, but I am not worried about the time in particular. What I would like to do is I want it to be running the GPU and the CPU so I can run it all at once. If you are familiar with the test that I did with the M1 Max and then the M5 as well, when you are doing that on an SoC, it will actually bottleneck everything. So the GPU is spiking up and it's being used up to 100%, 99%. GPU is being used 100%. Then the CPU is being used 100% as well. Unlike the M1 Max, where actually it was showing us a lot of issues. And I want to look at the memory usage as well. The memory usage is stable as 15 gigabytes. So the memory usage is fine. And that's the beauty of having your RAM separated from GPU, because it's not shared. And every time I say I don't like unified memory, you guys come at me and say, oh no, you are just a hater or whatever. Okay, sure. Now I want to test Unreal Engine 5. So we are here at Unreal Engine and we're going to go to the library. So right now it's initializing and it's opening and it's getting to 35% and such. Now I will say the noise is a little bit annoying with the Razer blade, but overall everything that you open is working as it should. And now while this is opening and it's preparing the mesh, let's go ahead and have it play. Now I will turn on the audio so we can actually hear it. But as you can hear, the fans are very loud, which is again what I said about this machine being annoying in terms of the noise. I will say one thing, there is something that is of a huge issue, and that was with Max. As you can see here, it was very bad looking in comparison to this. At least this is actually working without any issues. Nice. Okay, actually the face looks decent. It's so refreshing to see the face looking good. Now, I want to repeat that, but I want to see how many frame rates we are getting. So we are getting about 11 frames, now about 30. I guess it's stable at 30, 29 to 30, 29, 30, now 35, 33. There is an error in the back. 34, 35. Okay, now that did go a little bit low. Right now we are in the 25s. But we are still trying to aim for 30 all over. And again, it's preparing constructions, as you can see here at the bottom. But we are at 28, 29, 30. And it's running as it should. Now, keep in mind the same thing when it was running on the M1 Max. Even though the M1 Max had 64 gigabyte of RAM through an SoC, unified or memory. Basically what that means is that everything is combined together. That means you will have more GPU to work with and yada yada. It was actually maxing about 15. However, the textures, they were really bad and they were ugly to say the least. And I couldn't work with them even if my life depended on it. However, with that, it's actually much better in a general sense. Now, I would say the next thing to test from here, which is a lot of you people probably are interested in and like to do anyway, especially if you have some downtime, and that is some video game. So we're gonna go ahead and open the good old Steam. Elden Ring, best game ever. And this waifu is the real deal. Let's go ahead and test the first Descendant and just see how it works. Okay, let's go ahead and claim some stuff. As you can see, I am getting 60 frames above, and if we go to options, I have the graphics set at medium, and then DLS set to performance, and then NVIDIA reflexes off, DLS transforms on, and everything else is set to medium with motion blur. And the maximum frame rate that I'm aiming for is 60 because I do not play for something more than 60. And then here I do have ray tracing off. I don't use it. Even adding ray tracing here, it's not, worth it. But even if right now, if I am playing and I told you, hey, this is on high, you wouldn't even know. And speaking of which, let's go to a preset and pick Haley. Okay, that was interesting. And then here we're gonna go to exchange supplies. I need that, and I need that, and I need that. Keelan, I already have all his stuff, and I have everything in here. Now that is good. Then with my daily chores, I usually go to this guy over here, which they changed his spot. He used to be here, but now he's here. That's a little bit annoying, but whatever. I do not want to enhance anything. I just want to dismantle some stuff. So we're gonna go here and then dismantle some stuff. Everything is dismantled, and we are good to go. Now, if My favorite spot is open. Well, my favorite spot is not open. It has been changed to this. Usually, if it's not that, I'm not doing the mission, so I will not bother with it. And as you can see, here is my character and everything is working very well. Yes, there is pixelation here just because everything is on medium, but like, do you really notice it when you start playing